Hello, good evening, everyone. Hope I'm audible to you. Yes, thank you, Meghna. Today we'll be looking into the module 3 of your syllabi, and we'll be covering Wordsworth, Coleridge, Keats, then Byron is there, Shelley is there, then Tennyson is there. Okay, so I believe most of you might have already watched the recorded videos that is available. നിങ്ങൾ കണ്ടായിരുന്നോ? എങ്ങനെയുണ്ട് നിങ്ങളുടെ crash course? Is it helpful for you? Are you able to recollect certain facts? Yes. Okay. So I believe everyone is joining. Shall we start? Till now, ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ റൊമാൻറ്റിക് പീരീഡ് മുതൽ ഒരു വിക്ടോറിയൻ പീരീഡിന്റെ ഒരു സ്റ്റാർട്ടിങ് അങ്ങനെയാണ് നോക്കുന്നത്. ആൻഡ് പോയട്രി. ഓക്കെ, സോ ഐ ബിലീവ് ഈ പറയുന്ന ഓരോ ഓതേഴ്സിന്റെ വർക്ക്സിനെ പറ്റി ചോദിക്കുമ്പോഴേക്കും ഇയർ ഓഫ് പബ്ലിക്കേഷൻ, ദ തീംസ് ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ഡിസ്കസ്ഡ് ഇൻ ദീസ് വർക്ക്സ്, ഇതെല്ലാം ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്ത് വരുമ്പോഴേക്കും നമുക്ക് ആ ഒരു പീരീഡിനെ പറ്റിയിട്ട് ഒരു ഓവറോൾ അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡിങ് കിട്ടും. ഓക്കെ, സോ യെസ്, ഐ എം വെയിറ്റിംഗ് ഫോർ അതേഴ്സ് ടു ജോയിൻ. That's why I'm talking to you. So tell me, how far are you with your preparation? എങ്ങനെയുണ്ട് നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്രിപ്പറേഷൻസ് ഒക്കെ എങ്ങനെയുണ്ട്? ഇതുവരെയുള്ള ക്രാഷ് കോഴ്സ് ഒക്കെ വെച്ചിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്താ പറയാ ഓരോ പീരീഡും മനസ്സിലാക്കി വരുന്നുണ്ടോ? Is it helpful? Yes. Okay. സോ ഫസ്റ്റ് നമ്മൾ നോക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത് ഓഡ് ഓൺ ഇമ്മോർട്ടാലിറ്റി ആയിരിക്കും. ഓക്കെ, വേർഡ്സ്വർത്തിന്റെ ഓഡ് ഓൺ ഇമ്മോർട്ടാലിറ്റി. സോ വാട്ട് ഐം പ്ലാനിങ് ടു ഡു ഇസ് ലൈക്ക് ഐ ആസ്ക് യു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ്. ഞാൻ ഒരുപാട് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ഇങ്ങനെ ചോദിക്കും, ലെയർ ബൈ ലെയർ ആയിട്ടായിരിക്കും നമ്മൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുക. സോ വാട്ട് ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ബി കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് ലൈക്ക് റാപ്പിഡ് ഫയർ. ഞാൻ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ചോദിക്കും, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയാവുന്നത് ആൻസർ ചെയ്യുക. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അഥവാ ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് എന്തെങ്കിലും മനസ്സിലായില്ല എന്നാണെങ്കിൽ ഐ വിൽ ടൈപ്പ് ഇറ്റ് ഫോർ യു ഇൻ ദ ചാറ്റ് ബോക്സ് ഇടയ്ക്കൊന്ന് നോക്കിയാൽ മതി. സോ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയില്ലാത്തതാണെന്നാണെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾ ആൻസർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ കൂടെ തന്നെ അതൊന്ന് നോട്ട് ചെയ്ത് പോവുക. So this will be kind of like a capsule which will help you with your revision. So നമ്മൾ ഓൾറെഡി ഇതിന്റെ നോട്ട്സും PDF കാര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം ഷെയർ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട് എന്നാണെങ്കിലും ഈ ക്യാപ്സ്യൂൾസ് ഉള്ളപ്പോഴേക്കും ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ഹെൽപ്പ് യു വിത്ത് യുവർ റിവിഷൻ. സോ ആ ഒരു വർക്കിനെ പറ്റിയിട്ടുള്ള ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള എല്ലാ ഡീറ്റെയിൽസ് ആയിരിക്കുള്ളൂ what I'm asking you about. Okay, so be prepared. Please sit with a pen and paper with you. Okay, yes. So shall we start? So tell me, I said Ode on Immortality. What is the complete title of Wordsworth Ode on Immortality? Immortality Ode. It is known by different names. So please, can you type the complete title of this Immortality Ode? Immortality Ode in the complete title. Yes. Yes, Intimations of Immortality from Recollections of Early Childhood. That is the complete title of what we popularly call as, yes, Odd Intimations on Immortality from Recollections of Early Childhood. ആർക്കെങ്കിലും അറിയില്ല എന്നാണെങ്കിൽ ഒന്ന് നോട്ട് ചെയ്ത് വെക്കണം. ഓക്കെ, ഓഡ് ഓൺ ഇന്റിമേഷൻസ് ഓഫ് ഇമ്മോർട്ടാലിറ്റി, റിക്കലക്ഷൻസ് ഫ്രം ഏർലി ചൈൽഡ്ഹുഡ്. ഡു യു നോ ദ ഇയർ ഓഫ് പബ്ലിക്കേഷൻ? വെരി ഗുഡ്, വെരി ഗുഡ്. I'm so happy everyone is responding, even though it is quite a lengthy title, isn't it? ഓർഡർ അല്ലാതെ മിക്സ് ആൻഡ് മാച്ച് ആയിട്ട് ചോദിക്കും, പക്ഷെ അത് ആദ്യം ചോദിക്കില്ല. ഓക്കെ, ആദ്യം നമുക്ക് ഒരു പോയം തന്നെ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്ത് പോകാം. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എന്താ സംഭവിക്കുന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞ് കഴിഞ്ഞാല് കൺഫ്യൂസ്ഡ് ആവും. You also will become confused if I ask questions of the same point. Okay, so first, in the first layer of revision that we do, this will take around 40 minutes. Okay, in 40 minutes, I'm planning to cover almost all the topics that we have to discuss. Okay, Adinishesham I'll again come and ask you questions. So in that 20 minutes, I'll ask you from here and there. Yes, yes. So it is believed to be written somewhere around. Do you know when it was written, originally written? It is first initially published in 1807, yes. Okay. Yes, yes. 1802 മുതലാണ് കമ്പോസിഷൻ തുടങ്ങിയെന്നാണ് ഞാൻ ഒന്ന് രണ്ട് സ്ഥലത്ത് വായിച്ചത്. ആൻഡ് ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ഇനീഷ്യലി പബ്ലിഷ് 1802 1804 ആ ഒരു പീരീഡിലാണ് എഴുതിയെന്ന് വിശ്വസിക്കപ്പെടുന്നു. ആൻഡ് ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ഒറിജിനലി കംപ്ലീറ്റഡ്, യെസ്, കംപ്ലീറ്റഡ് ഇൻ 1804. He started, he kind of, it is like, it is Wordsworth poetry, right? So it is spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings recollected in tranquility. So he started it and he completed it in 1804 and it was originally published in 1807. Yes, so for this poem, there is an opening epigraph. Okay, so can you tell me what is the opening line of this epigraph for the poem Immortality Ode? Quickly answer. Yes, father is the child of man. Father is the child of man is the lines that is taken from another of Wordsworth poem, that is, my heart leaps up. My heart leaps up. Okay, very good. Yes. So the poem relies on the concept of pre-existence. If I say the statement, the poem relies on the concept of pre-existence, a life that we have even before we are born into this world. Do you agree with the statement or not? Is it true or false? Yes, exactly. It is true. Okay? Yes. Now, tell me which are the other names in which this ode is also known as. Where എന്തൊക്കെ പേരിലാണ് ഈ ഓടിനെ അറിയപ്പെടുന്നത്? I just said one name. It is, you know what? Commonly it is also known as ode. Ode എന്നുള്ള പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാലും, if you are mentioning about Wordsworth ode, it is the same ode. Yes, simply an ode, then immortality ode, then one more is there. One more is there. Ode, then immortality ode, then the great ode. The great ode. It is also known as the great ode. Okay, all right, you got the point. Shall we move on? Yes, so you said like it was completed in 1804 and it was initially published in the year 1807. Can you tell me the collection, the name of the collection in which this poem was first published? The name of the collection in which it was first published. Poems in 2 volumes. Poems in 2 volumes. Yes, very good. Very good. Yes, so for a response to this ode, Samuel Taylor Coleridge has written another ode. Can you tell me what is the ode that I'm referring to here? For a response to this ode, Coleridge has written Dejection and Ode. Dejection and Ode. Yes, so tell me that John Keats have coined a term which ideally describes this quality of writing of Wordsworth. Are you getting the term that I'm kind of referring to here? Where the subject matter of the poetry nekal koodudal a poet's memory, the poet's memory about its birth, connection of a soul with that of nature, അതിനൊക്കെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് കൊടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് എഴുതുന്ന ആ ഒരു കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് റൈറ്റിങ്ങിനെ പറ്റിയിട്ട് ജോൺ കീറ്റ്സ് have later coined. I don't know whether if someone is unmuted. Let me mute everyone. Yes. Okay. So can you tell me what is the word that John Keats have coined, which famously describes this ode as in no. That is Keats's poetry. That is Keats's poetry. Negative capability is a quality that is associated with John Keats' poetry. But you know what? Have you heard of this term called as egotistical sublime? Egotistical sublime. Yes, that is the word that I was referring to. എനിക്കത് പറയാതെ നിങ്ങളോട് എങ്ങനെ ചോദിക്കണം എന്ന് കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല. I'll type it for you if anyone is unfamiliar with the word. It is egotistical sublime. Okay, and this poem is considered to be a very ideal example for this kind of writing, egotistical sublime kind of writing. Okay, most of Wordsworth's poetry is kind of like this. Yes, and can you tell me the style in which that he has written? What is the stylistic feature that he has chosen for this for this ode? Do you know? It is written in 11 stanzas. Yes, it is irregular pentaric odd. It is an irregular pentaric odd. Okay, it is a pentaric odd, but keep in mind it is irregular pentaric odd. കാരണം എന്താന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ് കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് കിട്ടുമ്പോഴേക്കും മേ ബി അവർ pentaric odd in 11 stanzas എന്ന് തരും. And the next option will be like irregular pentaric odd in 11 stanzas. So you have to be very careful. Yes. So you know what? This poem is divided into how many movements? This poem is divided into how many movements? Yes, exactly. It is divided into three movements. Three movements. The first four stanza is the first movement. Then the second four stanza is the second movement. And the last three stanzas are the last movement. Okay, and the first four stanzas is talks about the death, loss of youth and all, loss of youth, innocence. അതൊക്കെയാണ് ആ ഒരു ഫസ്റ്റ് മൂവ്മെന്റിൽ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. സെക്കൻഡ് മൂവ്മെന്റിലേക്ക് വരുമ്പോഴാണ് how age it causes man to lose their sight of sight of this divine. Yes, loss of childhood അങ്ങനെ പറയാം ഫസ്റ്റത്തെ ആ ഒരു മൂവ്മെന്റിൽ. സെക്കൻഡ് വണ്ണിൽ എങ്ങനെയാണ് നമ്മളുടെ ആ ഒരു ഡിവൈൻ ആയിട്ടുള്ള കണക്ഷൻ, how we lose that. And in the third one, he is again having some hope to reconcile with his lost memory. Okay? Yes, that is consolation, that is last hope. Exactly. So these are the three movements. So, you know what? Wordsworth praises child as dash in this poetry, and it was later criticized by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Wordsworth praises the child as dash in this poetry, in this particular ode. Oh, no, not in the epigraph, in the ode. In the ode, he talks about the child as, yes, the best prophet or the best philosopher. Okay? Yes. In the epigraph, yes, he calls child is the father of man. And ആ എപ്പിഗ്രാഫ് എങ്ങനെയാണ് പോയത്തിലേക്ക് വന്നിരിക്കുന്നത്? പോയത്തിൽ he is addressing the child as the prophet, the philosopher, the seer best. ഇങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയാണ് ചൈൽഡിനെ റെഫർ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. ആൻഡ് ഈ ബെസ്റ്റ് ഫിലോസഫർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞതിന് റിയാക്ഷൻ ആയിട്ടാണ് that was later criticized by Coleridge. Okay, all right, clear for you? Yes. So you know what? A Victorian poet had a very strong reaction towards this ode of Wordsworth. Do you know his name? A Victorian poet who had a strong negative stance about this ode. It is John Ruskin. John Ruskin ആ ഒരു ടൈമിൽ ബാക്കി എല്ലാവർക്കും they were not എന്താ പറയുക, ഇത് ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ട് പ്രൈസ് ചെയ്ത ഒരുപാട് ആൾക്കാരുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, ക്രിട്ടിസൈസ് ചെയ്ത ആൾക്കാരുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷെ ജോൺ റസ്കിൻ വല്ലാണ്ട് അങ്ങ് ക്രിട്ടിസൈസ് ചെയ്തായിരുന്നു. Okay, yes. So when you look into a poetry, maybe if at all possible, go and see who are the later critics who might have praised it or criticized it. അങ്ങനെ നെഗറ്റീവ് ആയിട്ടും പോസിറ്റീവ് ആയിട്ടും കമന്റ് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ള ഫേമസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഏതെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ പെർസോണാസ് ഉണ്ടോ എന്നുള്ളതൊന്ന് നോക്കി അത് മെൻഷൻ ചെയ്ത് വെക്കുന്നത്, ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ബി ഗുഡ്. Okay, so tell me whether it is true or false if I say the comment that this poem is one of the conversation poems. It belongs into the genre of conversation poems. Tell me whether it is true or false. Okay, this is our first instinct to say this is not a conversation, isn't it? But during, yes, നമ്മൾ പറയുമ്പോഴേക്കും ഇതൊരു കോൺവെർസേഷൻ ആയിട്ട് തോന്നുന്നില്ല. ആക്ച്വലി ഇൻ റൊമാൻറ്റിക് പീരീഡ് ദിസ് കോൺവെർസേഷൻ ഇസ് കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് ലൈക്ക് എ സിംഗിൾ സൈഡഡ് കോൺവെർസേഷൻ. അപ്പുറത്തുള്ള ആ ഒരാള് പാസീവായിട്ട് കേട്ടിരിക്കുന്നത് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ, റെസ്പോണ്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. യെസ്, സോ യു നോ വാട്ട്, ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് ലൈക്ക് ഇറ്റ് ബിലോങ്സ് ഇൻ ടു ദാറ്റ്. I double checked. Okay, conversation poemsന്റെ കാറ്റഗറിയിൽ വരുന്നതാണ്. Okay, and Coleridge's some poems are also included in this category. All right, so this belongs to that category of conversation poems. All right, yes. Then also it belongs to the genre of apocalyptic writing. ഇതൊക്കെ ഈ ഒരു കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് ജോണറിലൊക്കെ ഈ ഒരു പോയത്തിനെ പറയുന്നത് later critics ആണ്, when they try to come up with their own interpretations. Because you know what, here he is lamenting, it is kind of like an elegiac tone, because he is lamenting the loss of that innocence, that spiritual childhood we had. With worldly experience, we are kind of disassociated with that childhood, with that pure, innocent, blissful sort of a condition. So അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ it also belongs to the genre of apocalyptic writings. Okay, apocalyptic writing. Got the point? Yes. Okay. 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 So listen to the quote that I'm reading. I will read it more than once if you want me. Please listen to it carefully. The immortality ode. Okay. Like King Lear, the immortality ode, like King Lear, is its author's greatest product, but not his best piece of work. The immortality ode, like its authors, like King Lear, its author's greatest product, but not his best piece of work. Who made this statement? Who made this statement? Who made this statement? Take a guess, it doesn't matter. He is a Shakespearean critic. This person have looked into the major tragedies of Shakespeare and have written about it. It is A.C. Bradley. Okay, so A.C. Bradley has said the statement, the immortality ode like King Lear. Yes, yes, yes. I'll type it. I'll type it. The immortality ode like King Lear. Okay, you got that. Till that it is okay. So it is the author's greatest product, but not his best piece of work. Okay. Second half, I have typed it for you in the chat box. The immortality ode like King Lear. I believe that part you got. Yes. Is it all right? Okay. And you know what? Swati, yes, Swati? You have any doubt? Accidentally raised a hand? Okay, no issues. Okay. So, you know what? Cleon Brooks, in his well-wrought urn, he has also talked about this immortality ode, and he have analyzed this ode in that work. Okay. So അത് ജസ്റ്റ് ഒരു അഡീഷണൽ ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ പറഞ്ഞതാണ്. This is the first layer of an analysis or a kind of a revision that I want to do with this topic. So shall we move on to the next poem? I believe that was okay for you, clear for you. Are you able to follow? Are you finding it helpful? Or am I confusing you? Yes. Okay, moving on. Tell me who wrote Kubla Khan? Kubla Khan? Coleridge. Kubla Khan is also known as Kubla Khan or? Very good. Coleridge, yes. Kubla Khan or? Not Dream Revere. A Vision in a Dream. Kubla Khan or A Vision in a Dream. A fragment. Kubla Khan or A Vision in a Dream. A fragment. Okay, a fragment was later added. A fragment, see, as the supposed subtitle. And some people also argue that A Vision in a Dream is also a subtitle. Because when it was initially published, it was like Kubla Khan, and then in the second line, A Vision in a Dream or A Vision in a Dream. It was given it like that. So it is considered to be an alternate title, and this A Fragment is supposedly considered as the subtitle for the same. Okay, so tell me the year in which it was published. Kubla Khan was published in the year 1816. Yes, very good. And it was likely written during 1797. It was likely written during the year 1797. Yes, yes. So tell me the setting for Kubla Khan. Setting for Kubla Khan. Yes, Sanadu. Sanadu is the setting. Yes. So, what is Kubla Khan degree, or what is he seeing in that setting? What is there in Sanadu? There is a pleasure dome. Yes, there is a pleasure dome. So there is a sacred river. A name of a sacred river is mentioned there. Yes, that is the Alps. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So you know what? There is a special kind of a sea that is mentioned in the lines, and these rivers are flowing into that sea. But this sea is, do you know what is speciality of the sea? It is sunless. The sea is sunless. Okay, which means എന്താ സംഭവം sunless എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താ? It is a dark sea. Then, um, you know what? Which is the drug that inspired the dream or the poem? Yes, it is opium. Yes, yes. So an Abyssinian maid is introduced, isn't it? So she is playing an instrument. Do you know the name of the instrument that she is playing? That is a dulcimer. Yes, dulcimer is the instrument that this Abyssinian woman is playing. And what is the mountain that the maid is singing of? What is the mountain that the maid is singing of? It is Abora. It is Abora. Yes, yes. And you know what? There is a traveler that is coming in. And you know from where this traveler is coming and interrupting the poet? Porlock. Yes, the traveler from Porlock. The traveler from Porlock. You know what? If someone is finding it is difficult, these questions are difficult. These are questions that I have taken from the poem itself. Okay. ഇത് അതിലെ ലൈൻസിൽ തന്നെ പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളാണ് ട്ടോ. And if you are finding it difficult, it is because you haven't read the poem. And it is very important, especially since you are preparing for HSST examination. The context as well as what is given there in the text is very important. Okay, so please go and read the poem. I believe that everyone have already read. Please go and reread it. Yes. So, yeah, next question. Kubla Khan is telling like he is hearing some prophetic sound. Actually, what is the prophetic sound that he is hearing in the poem? It is war. When we think he is hearing prophetic sound, we think like something else is coming. Yes, yes, it is the war and sisters about war. Yes, yes, yes. So tell me, he intended, originally Coleridge wanted in his dream also he composed around 200 to 300 lines of poetry. But when he wake up from that dream and when he started writing it, he could only complete how many lines? Like around, yes, 54, 30. Almost around 30 lines. That is what I believe. Is it Abarna? Is it 50 for Abarna? Yes. Kind of like two stanzas, yes. So tell me, is it a finished or unfinished work then? Is it a finished or unfinished work? Unfinished. Exactly. Obviously unfinished. Just trying to confuse you. Yes. So, there is a woman who is wailing. Okay, there is a woman who is introduced in the poetry and she is wailing. She is wailing for what? Or she is wailing for whom? A demon lover. A demon lover. Yes. Okay, and do you know a reaction or a reply to this poem? Kubla Khan was written, and it was written by Mary Robinson, and it was first published in the Morning Post. Okay, so do you know the title of that poem, which is written as a response to Kubla Khan and Coleridge altogether? To the Poet Coleridge. To the Poet Coleridge is a poem that is written by Mary Robinson and published in 1800, and it is considered to be one of the responses to Kubla Khan. Is it 54 lines? I'll check. It is around 30 lines, I believe, if I'm correct. Oh, yes, yes, yes. With the stanza length, yes, it is not two stanza, it is three stanzas. Okay, the first stanza is the most lengthier one. That is 36 lines. That is around 36 lines. Okay, then we have a very small stanza of 6 lines and 12 lines. Altogether, 54 lines. Yes, you're correct. You're correct. Thank you, thank you. I also have I haven't looked into that exact line number, so that first stanza line was that I had in my mind. Yes. Okay, so it is altogether 54 lines and it is divided into 36 lines, 6 lines, and 12 line stanzas. 3 stanzas, not 2. Yes. Okay. So thank you, Aparna. Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay. So is Kubla Khan okay? Shall we move on to the next poem then? Yes, which is the next point that we have to discuss according to to your syllabus. Tell me. To the Nightingale. Yes, Ode to Nightingale. Who wrote Ode to Nightingale? Yes, tell me who wrote To the Nightingale. To the Nightingale, sonnet number 1. I said the title wrongly. Yes, that is John Milton. To the Nightingale, sonnet number 1 is John Milton's sonnet. Okay. Yes. So tell me, Ode to the Nightingale was written in the year. Ode to Nightingale was written in the year 1819. Can you tell me which are the other great sonnets of John Keats? Which are the other great odes to Psyche? Yes, ode to Psyche, or to Autumn, to Autumn. How come you left out the important ones? Ode on Indolence, Grecian Urn, Psyche. Ode to Melancholy. Yes, yes. Melancholy is the hard one to get, isn't it? We often forget that. Yes, that was something, you know what, some digression that I did. Yes, yes, indolence, melancholy. Very good, very good. Yes. So in the beginning, yes, Psyche, Nightingale, Autumn, Grecian on indolence and melancholy. Yes, very good, Aparna. So tell me in the beginning of the poem, if is the poet happy or sitting quite sad in a numbness? Yes. He is quite sad and numb in the beginning of the poem. So, you know what? A mythological river of forgetfulness is mentioned in the lines. What is the name of this mythological river of forgetfulness? Yes, that is Lethe. Okay, Lethe is the mythological river of forgetfulness that is discussed in the lines. Yes. So, yeah. What is the plaintive anthem? Plaintive anthem. I'll type it for you. That is referred here. Plaintive anthem. Plain, sorry, Plaintive. Plaintive anthem that the poet is hearing. The poet thinks that he is hearing. Yes, it is the song of the nightingale. It is the music, it is the melody of the nightingale. Yes. So, who is the deceiving elf according to the poet? Who is the deceiving elf? It is fancy. The deceiving elf is fancy. Okay. Which are the insects that is measured, sorry, that is mentioned in the first stanza? Which is the insect that is mentioned in the first stanza of the poem? It is flies. Yes, yes, yes. Bee or flies. Okay. So this everyone have to answer. Okay. What is the easeful thing? Easeful. Easeful. What is the easeful thing that the poet is in love with? The easeful thing that the poet is in love with is death. Yes, yes. Very good, very good. Okay, so do you know there is a biblical character that is mentioned almost in towards the end? Yes, that is Ruth. That is Ruth. The biblical character that is mentioned here is Ruth. Okay, then what does the nightingale does not know or have never experienced unlike humans? Sorrows. Yes, or suffering. Okay, yes. So the poet is here we can see the poet is longing to fade away from something. What does he want a kind of an escape from? Yes. The poet wants to fade away from what? The real world or reality. Yes, yes, yes. So how many stanzas are there in the poem altogether? It is in seventh stanza that this biblical character of Ruth comes in. Yes. So how many stanzas are there in total, in altogether in the poem? Yes, eight. It is eight stanzas. Yes. So what is the final question that the poet is asking the nightingale then? He want to escape from the real world. He want to escape from reality. And he is telling that like this bird is free of all the sorrows and suffering, unlike the humans. Is it a wake or vision, or is it the easeful thing that the poet earlier also asked? Do I wake or sleep? Okay, do I wake or sleep? Yes, that is correct. Yes, yes, yes. So, of the poems that we discussed, can you tell me the famous off-quoted lines from maybe Immortality Ode? Can you tell me the off-quoted lines from Immortality Ode? Okay, so have a look into the important lines of certain poems. അത് ഞാൻ അടുത്തൊരു ലെയർ ആയിട്ട് വന്ന് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാമെന്നാണ് വിചാരിച്ചിരുന്നേച്ചത്. പക്ഷേ ഇറ്റ്സ് ടൈം ഇസ് ഗോയിങ് എ ലിറ്റിൽ ബിറ്റ് ഫാസ്റ്റ് ഐ ബിലീവ്. യെസ്. ഓക്കെ, അതെന്തായാലും നമുക്ക് നെക്സ്റ്റ് ലെയറിൽ തന്നെ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാം. നീൽ ഫ്ലവർ ആൻഡ് സെയിം. Where is it now, glory and the dream? Yes, yes. Okay, so shall we move on to the next poem? I know I'm going a little bit fast. We'll come to look into the important, famous off-quoted lines once we are done with this revision. Okay, is that okay? Yes. Who wrote Ode to the West Wind? Ode to the West Wind. Easy questions first. Who wrote Ode to the West Wind? Yes, Shelley. When was it composed? When was it composed? Yes, 1819. Which is the other poem that we studied, which was also written in 1819? Ode. Other Ode. Yes, Nightingale. Yes, yes. So, which is the structure of the poem, or what is the structure of the poem, or the ode to the West Wind? It is Tersarima. Yes, Tersarima. Yes, yes, yes. Do you know Shelley was residing at which place when he composed the ode? He was in something. That is some extra question. He was in Florence. Yes, he was in Florence. Yes. So, what is the azure sister of spring that is referred in the poem? What is the azure sister of the spring? Azure. Azure sister of spring is the wind. ഓക്കെ, ഫോർ HSST കൂടുതൽ ഈ ടെക്സ്ച്വൽ ലൈൻസ് എടുത്തിട്ടുള്ള ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് വരാനായിട്ട് ചാൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ ലൈൻ ബൈ ലൈൻ ഇൻഡെപ്ത് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഇതുപോലത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് നോക്കി പോകുന്നത് കേട്ടോ. Yes, the actual sister of spring is the wind. All right. Yes. So, you know what? What is the name of the mythical female followers of Dionysius that is mentioned in the second canto? That is Maenads. Yes, yes, yes. Do you know how their hair is described? Quite unruly, disheveled, and all. Yes. Then tell me, I will give you a line. Tell me which is this figure of speech that is used here. Okay, tell me the figure of speech. I'll give you the line. I fall upon the thorns of life, I bleed. I fall upon the thorns of life, I bleed. It is metaphor. Yes, it is metaphor. Okay, so this is one of the off-quoted lines from the poem. So please go and look into these kind of lines. It is important. Yes, what is the instrument that the poet asked the wind to make for him or make of him? Yes, that is lyre. Make of him. That is the correct answer. Yes. And do you know there is a revolutionary tone for the poem? This is a contextual question. So there is a historical massacre, and it is believed to have influenced the poem's revolutionary tone. Yes, that is the Peterloo massacre. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. So Westwind here is addressed as both the destroyer and preserver. Isn't it? So, which is the Hindu god that is alluded here in these lines, the destroyer and preserver? The destroyer and preserver. Yeah, that it is Shiva. It is believed that. Yes, yes, yes. What is described as the dome of a vast sepulchre? What is described as the dome of a vast sepulchre? It's night. It's night. Yes. Then the angels of rain and lightning. Okay, the angels of rain and lightning are the clouds. You have to look into the how he has composed these lines, the eloquence of the language. And please go and read these poems quite a few times if at all possible. Okay, it will be helpful for you. Yes, so the off-quoted lines of Or to the West Wind is അറിയാവോ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഏതെങ്കിലും important lines? If winter comes, can spring be far behind? Yes, yes, yes. If winter comes, can spring be far behind? Yes. Then I fall upon the thorns of life, I bleed. That is also very important. Okay. Yes. So, tell me, in which year was the Lotos-Eaters first published in Tennyson's second volume of poems? In which year was the Lotos-Eaters first published in Tennyson's second volume of poems? Second volume. It is 1832. Yes. So Homer's Odysseys, do you know which specific book number was the source for his poem? It is 9. Yes. Which is the mythological place in the Choric song is likened to the blissful island where gods live. Which mythological place in the Choric song? CHO. Yes, the Happy Isle have also another name. Do you know what it is? It is Elysium. Elysium. Okay, what is the rhyme scheme in the first 8 lines of the stanzas of the stanza? First 8 lines of the first stanza of the poem, Lotos-Eaters. It is Pensilian. Okay? Yes, yes. Then I'm looking for important questions so that we will have time to discuss the important lines that is taken from these. What war do the sailors claim that they have fought for 10 years? What war do the sailors claim that they have fought for 10 years? Yes, that is the Trojan War. Yes. Yes. In the poem, what star guides the ship but is rejected by the sailors or the mariners? In the poem, what star guides the ship but is rejected by the mariners? Do you know the name of the star? It is Pilot. Pilot. Okay, yes. What do the mariners fear they will become if they return to their families? What do the mariners fear they will become if they return to their families? It is very sad what they say. Yeah, there's an exact word. They fear that they will be ghost. They will be kind of like ghosts, something of the past that is coming to haunt them again. So Ulysses' wife's name is Ghost is the answer, okay? For earlier question, Ghost is the answer. Yes. Tell me what is the name of Ulysses' wife? Penelope. Yes, Penelope. What about his son? Telemachus. Yes, son is Telemachus. Yes. Yes. Okay. So shall we move on to the next poem? I'm just asking you textual questions alone. Shall we move on to the next poem? Who is the protagonist of the poem Prisoner of Chillon? Who is the protagonist of the poem Prisoner of Chillon? Tell me. Yes, that is Francois Bonivard. Francois Bonivard. So, you know what? There is a 14-line sonnet that serves like an introduction to this Prisoner of Chillon. What is the title of that sonnet? What is the title of that sonnet? It's very easy. Sonnet on Chillon. Sonnet on Chillon. Okay, when was Prisoner of Chillon published? When was Prisoner of Chillon published? 1816. Sonnet of Chillon also same year, 1816. Yes. So, is it a monologue? Is it a conversation? Is it a dirge? Is it an elegy? A sonnet? Which category of poetry does it follow to? Yes, it is a monologue. It is a monologue. Yes. Then, for how many years this prisoner is imprisoned in that dungeon? Yes, that is 6 long years. Yes. So tell me who are the later romantic writers? Who are the later romantic writers? Byron, Shelley and Keats. Yes. There is a lake that kind of becomes a double dungeon, isn't it? Yes. So what is the name of the lake? Is it Laman or Layman? Layman. Yes, yes, yes. Layman. So how many brothers are imprisoned? How many brothers are imprisoned? Two or three? Three brothers are imprisoned. One hunter, one very kind and selfless fellow, and our narrator. Okay, yes. Then, who is the most liked of these brothers? Who is the most liked by his father, and for what reason? The youngest, yes, three including Bernard. Yeah, yes, looks of mother. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, and finally, towards the end of the poem, that we can see that the poet or the Bernard, he regains his freedom. But is he happy, or does he regain his freedom with a sigh? It is with a sigh that he regains his freedom. Yes. So, what is the poem critical about? What is it trying to criticize? Tyranny. Okay. Liberty is the eternal spirit of chainless mind. That is the most important line from the sonnet of Chillon. Okay, in the sonnet is kind of like that first 14 lines, it is kind of like an address or a kind of like a praise to liberty. Okay, and after that we have a poem. Yes. So that is Prisoner of Chillon. Wait 1 second, I'll ask you some difficult questions now. One more poem I have to ask you questions now, isn't it? Yes, tell me, Ulysses, you told me it is monologue. The setting of Ulysses, which is the island or the kingdom, Ithaca. Yes, when was it written? The poem was written in the year? The poem was written in the year it was written in 1833. It was published in 1842. Okay, first published in 1842, written in 1833. Yes. So, what does Ulysses calling his people in Ithaca? He's calling in his people in Ithaca as savage, a savage race. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. What is the final famous lines of the poem, Ulysses? To strive to? Oh, okay, you tell. To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. And not to yield. Yes. What is the poetic structure that is used here? It's a monologue that is written in blank verse. Yes, that is written in, it is a dramatic monologue. Yes, I agree. That is written in blank verse. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So, shall I ask you some difficult questions now? I rushed through the easy questions so that I will have enough time to discuss some difficult questions. Is that okay? Are you ready? Do you want a break or something? I will not tell from which poem I'm asking these questions because you wanted some mix and match, isn't it? Yes. So the line, the trumpet of a prophecy, the trumpet of a prophecy, it is suggesting about the wind, the quality of wind, the trumpet of a prophecy. So what quality of the wind is suggested here? The trumpet of a prophecy. Oh, it is not it is the trumpet of a prophecy. Which poem is it? Tell me which poem it is. Yes, it is odd to west wind. In odd to west wind, we can see the wind is dominating on all spheres of the universe, isn't it? So, in each of the part, which is the sphere that the wind is taking over or showing its, power or is overpowering? Tell me. West wind, west wind. West wind is the answer. Yes, earth, air, and water. Earth, air, and water. Sorry, Barna. Previous question. What was the previous question that I asked you? Since I'm asking from everywhere, what was the question? Prophecy, trumpet of a prophecy. That is about west wind. It is kind of like the divine quality. West wind as a divine messenger. Yes. So next question to you is, I'm looking for difficult questions. Together with William Wordsworth, Coleridge has wrought a prominent work. I was looking for difficult question and I saw this and I just wanted to ask you that so that it will give you some time. Yes, it is lyrical ballads. Yes, 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 exactly. It is lyrical ballads. Yes. So I will tell you some lines from the poem. Tell me which line reflects Ulysses' desire for adventure and exploration. Okay. Is it long day wanes, the slow moon climbs? The long day wanes, the slow moon climbs, or to strive to seek to find and not to yield? Yes, it is. It is that. It's obviously that question. Which line suggests the Ulysses' dissatisfaction? Sorry, satisfaction. My God, yes, with the life of inactivity. Do you know which line suggests Ulysses' dissatisfaction with the life of inactivity? It is kind of like a tongue twister. I will give you the lines, okay? As though to breathe were life, matched with an aged wife, I meet and dole. How dull it is to pause and make an end. Okay? I'll read it once again. As though to breathe were life, matched with an aged wife, I meet and dole. How dull it is to pause and make an end. It is his dissatisfaction, isn't it? So it is how dull it is to pause and make an end because he doesn't want or he doesn't like a life of inactivity. Okay. Yes. So what is his opinion about his aged wife in the poem? Does he like her? Is he treating her with respect? Or is he finding their companionship as fulfilling? Or is he showing an indifference towards her? He is dissatisfied, isn't it? He is dissatisfied. And he views her with indifference. Yes, it is an indifferent attitude that he has given there. So, what is his view of death in the poem? What is his view of death? Is it a great adventure for him, or is it something to be feared and avoided, or it is something that should be that we should embrace passively? Yes, death is situated as something of a great adventure. Okay. Yes. Then tell me the line made weak by time and fate, but strong in will. I'll repeat once again made weak by time and fate, but strong in will. This reflects his belief in what? Is it the futility of resisting fate, the strength of his physical abilities, or the power of the human spirit to endure? The futility of resisting fate, the strength of his physical abilities, or the power of human spirit to endure? Yes, it is the power of human spirit to endure. Yes. Then tell me, which literary device is the most evident in these lines? The long day wanes, the slow moon climbs. The long day wanes, the slow moon climbs. Is it simile, imagery, hyperbole, alliteration? Think about it. Think about the lines. The long day wanes, the slow moon climbs. Is it hyperbole? What is hyperbole? I only gave you four options like simile, imagery, hyperbole, or alliteration. It is actually a visual imagery, isn't it? We can see that the day is coming to an end and the moon is slowly climbing up, which means it is almost night. Okay, what is hyperbole then? Tell me what is hyperbole? Exaggeration. Yes, what is the opposite of hyperbole? Have you heard of litotes? Litotes is the, yes, opposite, where we kind of demean things. There we exaggerate. Here we kind of demean or degrade. Yes. So I have given you those lines. Shall I ask you some more chords? Can you tell me from which poem? It is kind of like, you know what, talking about days and months as if it is quite trivial or it is unimportant. Likewise, if we mention it is litot, I'll give you example for litots. Okay. Yes. Before that, I'll ask you some more questions. Tell me from which poem this lines is taken from. My hair is grey, but not with years, nor grew it white in a single night. My hair is grey, but not with years, nor grew it white in a single night. Yes, that is from Prisoner of Chillon. Yes. Or rest ye, brother mariners, we will not wander more. Or rest ye, brother mariners, we will not wander more. That is Lotos-Eaters. Lotos, Lotos. Yes. I'm a part of all that I have met. I'm a part of all that I have met. Ulysses. We were seven who, now we are one. We were seven who, now we are one. Again, Present Roshilan. Yes. My very chains and I grew friends. I regained my freedom with a sigh. Again, Present Roshilan. Yes. The other points I am not asking you because I know that you will have a good understanding and you will know the most important lines. I have a collection of other important lines from these poems that we discussed also. Since it is time, I'm kind of like pausing for a while and I'll ask you if the session was okay for you. Tell me, was it clear? Was it helpful? Yes. Clear, yes. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mishab. Okay, so please go and read all these poems, read a little bit extra about all these poems. I wanted to ask a lot more questions. Don't worry, tomorrow I'll be having a session with you. So the rest of the third module is what we are going to discuss tomorrow. Okay, so can you promise me one thing that before you come for tomorrow's class, will you go and read the poems? Like not you know what, analysis or summary of it, just poems will do. Will you go and read it? Yes. Okay, okay. I'll post the remaining questions as polls. Yes. So thank you for joining. See you in next class. Thank you all. Bye. I'll be ending the session now.